I'm Shravani, Assistant Professor of Department of Freshman Engineering Department, St. Martin's Engineering College. Today I'm going to discuss about organizational structure and design. So coming to organizational structure, organizational structure the term organizational structure. So coming to organization. Organization, the term organization is group of people who are working under one roof is called as organization. So this organization, we have levels of organization. So moving deeper into organization structure, before moving deeper into organization structure, I wanted to talk about levels of organization. There are 3 levels of organization. One is top level, middle level, and bottom level. The top level people are called as CEOs of the organization. The middle level people are called as heads of various departments. And the bottom level are called as supervisors. So coming to top level people direct whatever the work is flowing, it will flow from the top level of the organization. And middle level people, what they do is they plan, organize, planning part, organizing part, staffing, directing, controlling, all these are done by organization or middle level people. And bottom level people are supervisors. They start implementing whatever middle level and top level people inform them. So before moving to organization structure, organization structure is how the organization operates and how it is working. What are the roles? What are the responsibilities of the people? What is the hierarchy? How the communication is flowing from top level to bottom level? How the relationship is? This is all defined in organization structure, and the organization structure also varies based on the size of the organization. Few organization, the organization structure might be small, and few organization it will be a big. The size entirely depends on the size of the organization. So this is about the organization structure here. The CEO, under CEO, there are 2 levels of people, and under 2 levels of people, there are 4 people, multiple people, and under 4, this entire chain is called as organizational structure. So types of organization, moving on to next slide, the types of organization structure. There are 3 types of organization structure. One is functional structure, second one is divisional structure, and third one is matrix structure. So moving on to functional structure, employees are divided based on their specialization, what work they are into. Like for suppose, let me give you an example, like marketing people are divided based on their skills, based on their talent, based on the knowledge they possess. So it is entirely divided, the team is divided based on the skills they possess. So marketing, the examples are marketing, sales, HR. So they are experts in that key area, they does that particular work, and they have knowledge, they have skills in that particular area. So that area is called as functional structure. Second one is divisional structure. Divisional structure is based on products, process, geography, and customer segments. So coming on to products, what exactly products are? Products in the sense, for suppose, let me give you an Apple brand, example of Apple brand. Apple brand has different products in it internally. One is iPad, second one is Mac, third one is iPhone, fourth one is like a customer service, like fifth one is accessories. There are so many segments in one brand. That exactly is called as products, and they are totally, the employees are the team or employee or group of people are working for one particular work only, then that is called as product. Second one is process. Process in the sense from raw material, bringing from raw material to finished goods, there are multiple processes involved in it, like manufacturing, production, selling, marketing, logistics, distribution. So these are all internal parameters where the process happens. So this is called as process, and they are like the people, the group of people or a team are expert in that particular area only. So next is geography. Geography is based on the location, where they are located exactly. So location in the sense, it might be in cities, it might be in places like, it might be in countries, it might be in different states. So this all is called as location. And coming to customer segments may be like wholesalers. If we are targeting, if our business is targeting wholesalers, we talk about wholesalers, we talk about retailers, we talk about customer oriented, we talk about corporate employees, we talk about government agencies. So these are all called as customer segments. So this divisional structure is divided based on the products, process, geography and customer segments. And moving on to next, matrix structure. Matrix structure in the sense, it is a combination of both functional as well as divisional structure. So in functional structure, when we are talking about functional and divisional structure, we have only single head where we report to that particular head. And whereas in matrix structure, there is a chance of multiple heads, like maybe 2 or 3, because it is a combination of functional as well as divisional structure. So both are involved. So it is where the teams works cross-functionally. They are working cross-functionally with various departments they are interacting with. It needs a lot of coordination among the departments. So these are the types of organizational structure. So moving on to next. So what exactly is the purpose of organizing? Why are we going for organizing? So let us know this. Efficient resource utilization, that is the first thing. So if you are organizing, if you are planning successfully, if you are organizing it, we are using our resources efficiently. Let me give you an example of manufacturing segment. So the equipments, big equipments are involved in manufacturing segment, where those equipments are utilized perfectly if an expert or if a person who possesses a skill in that particular area is utilizing that. So efficiently we are using the resources here. If we are organizing in the sense, we are dividing the work. The bigger task is divided into smaller tasks based on the manpower skills. So with this, what happens is we are utilizing the resources efficiently. Second one is clear role definition. The role would be clearly defined. If I belong to marketing segment, if I belong to sales segment, so my role is very much clear. What I have to do as soon as I enter the workplace, what is my role? What I have to do? So my role is clearly defined there. Third one is coordination and teamwork. There would be good coordination among the team because they are not working with multiple heads. They are working with a single team with single head. So there is so much of coordination among the employees, and teamwork also will be good because every day you are working with the same team, same coordination. Next one is facilitates growth and adaptability. The employee will have growth in that particular area. Every day as soon as you enter the job place, work area, you do the same kind of work. If you are working continuously, what happens is after training, for suppose, let me give an example of training. After training, you are learning something. If you are learning continuously, that becomes the development in that particular area. So you will be facilitated with the growth. You will be expertise in that particular area, and you will adopt to that situation. You will adopt easily. Whatever the work is happening there, you get adopted to that and you work. Whatever work might be given in the location, you adopt to it and you start working with that particular area. So next one is improves decision making. Your decision making capability also will improve. If you are expertise in one area, as soon as a problem arises in that particular area, You can quickly decide what has to be done next. So your decision making capability also increases. Next one is enhances productivity and efficiency. The productivity in the organization also improves. You can produce like more number of products. If you're working on the same area, today your production might be 15 products, tomorrow it might be 20. After 1 month, it might be 25. So the productivity of your area, like whatever products you're doing, your whatever work, whatever job you're doing, it improves. And the efficiency of the work also improves. You become expert in that particular area. Next one is establishes accountability and control. You are accountable of what work you are doing. And you will have the controlling capacity because that work is allotted to you. They know who is doing sales work, who is doing marketing work. The head of the organization knows very well who is doing marketing work, who is doing sales work, who is doing production work, who is doing manufacturing work, who is holding logistics, who is involved in distribution. All these are clearly mentioned. So the role is defined clearly. In that case, the accountability also will be known, like who is doing what. And there would be a clear picture of accountability, and you can also control. Controlling in the sense which if something happens in that particular area, if there is a mistake, if something is committed by you, you can have the ability to control that work because you become expertise in that particular area. Next one is enable specialization. You have that specialty, like you are into that. You are expertise in marketing. If you are expertise in marketing, you are well known. You are aware about what is happening in the marketing, and you have that specialization of marketing only because you possess that skills, you have that knowledge. So this is why this is the purpose of organizing. So moving on to next. So what exactly, we were talking about organization structure. What exactly is the purpose of organization structure? So we are dividing the activities and assigning the responsibility to employees. That is the main target. Like what is the main purpose is, this is what it is. So we are like bigger task. Bigger task is divided into smaller tasks. We are assigning activities to individual staff and we are giving them responsibility, what work has to be done, what they have to do individually to achieve the organizational goals. So moving on to organizational design. Organizational design, it is the process of structuring a company to achieve its goal. So we are structuring, what is the structuring is, as I told you in the first slide, like we are dividing, we are having 3 levels of organization. So we are structuring where should be the top management, where should be the middle level, where should be the bottom level, who are working under bottom level, who are working under middle level, who are the expertise in that particular area. Everything will be designed in organizational design. The structuring of a company to achieve its goals. To reach the target, to reach the goal, we are structuring a company. So organizational design is involved with 6 key elements. First one is work specialization, departmentalization, chain of command, span of control, centralization and decentralization, formalization. So we will move in depth. What is work specialization? So work specialization is breaking down the task, bigger task into smaller task, is called as work specialization based on the area of expertise. If I am into marketing, if my records are into marketing, if I am experienced in marketing, if I am expertise in marketing, what they does is, the company head, what he does is he will allot me a position in marketing and they will divide the task into smaller tasks, and where we are kept in the marketing, and what we have to do is our role should be fulfilled. That is specific jobs assigned to individuals or groups based on the skills they possess. Whatever skills I am possessing, I'll be into that. If I'm expertise in sales, I'll be in the sales department. If I'm expertise in production, I'll be in production department. So based on the expertise, whatever skills, whatever knowledge I have, so based on that, my job will be assigned. And this is divided based, because why it is, because to reach the organizational targets, organizational goals. End of the day, even if it is like multiple segments are involved, there are so many segments involved in organizational structure and design. This work specialization is, we are dividing, the boss will divide the work based on the expertise he possesses, based on the expertise the employee possesses, and we have what we need to do is, as employees, we need to fulfill the requirement, like we have to try to achieve the organizational targets. So next one is departmentalization. Departmentalization is based on the skills the employees possess, the jobs and responsibilities are divided into different departments. Whatever skills, whatever knowledge I have, based on that, different departments are divided. So this is called as departmentalization within an organization. There are few types of departmentalization. One is functional, second one is geographic, product, customer, and process. So departmentalization types. Departmentalization types. Functional, we will move in depth about functional departmentalization. So functional departmentalization, this is the example of functional departmentalization. And we will talk about pros and cons, as well as what exactly is functional departmentalization. Functional departmentalization is based on the expertise you have, based on the skills you have, based on the knowledge you have. The organization will be divided into different departments. Like marketing department will be in one place, finance department will be in one place, HR department will be in one place, production department will be in one place, logistics department will be in one place. So all these combinedly work for organizational goals. This division of departments based on the functions is called as functional departmentalization. So talking about pros and cons, this specialization improves efficiency. So whatever specialization we are into, it will improve the efficiency of the work. If I'm expertise in marketing, I have the skills of possessing marketing techniques, I have some innovative thoughts. So this specialization improves the efficiency and clear career paths and skill development. My path would be very clear, because I have a degree of marketing, and my skills are into marketing, and I have a clear path and skill development. Streamline decision making within departments. Within the departments, I have the capability of decision making, because I am expertise in that particular area, in that particular function. Poor communication across departments. My communication would be poor with the other departments, because we are interacting with few team members, with a single group. So that is the reason my communication will be very poor with other departments. Limited view of organizational goals. I have because as I told you, there are multiple departments, multiple functional departments. Each and every department person, they have to possess some output. They have to give some output. Total output will direct you towards the organizational goals. So there would be limited view of organizational goals. If I am into marketing, I am doing my limited work only. I am not working on that other departments. I am not working for organizational goals. I am contributing to the organizational goals, but entirely I am not working for it. So that is the reason I have limited view of organizational goals. So next, moving on to product departmentalization. Product, let me give you an example of this product departmentalization. If I am having a flourishing apparel business, apparel and fabric business in my city, and what I sell in that business is, I sell cotton clothes, I sell organic clothes, I sell silk clothes, I sell nylon clothes. There are so many varieties of clothes. Multiple products I have. And each product is given to one department. Cotton fabric will be looked after one department. Nylon products will be looked after one department. Synthetic products will be looked after by one department. Silk products will be looked after by one department. And organic products will be looked after by one department. So, this is called as product departmentalization based on the product they produce. So, coming to the pros and cons in that departmentalization, specialized focus on product development and innovation. They have specialized focus in that particular area. They have creativity. For suppose if I am giving an example of, like, if whatever example I gave, the product like cotton, if they are having innovative thoughts in cotton, they give up their innovative, they have the decision making, they have innovative thoughts in that particular department. So, the product development and innovation will be focused. Second one is clear accountability for product services. So, as I am dividing my business into 4 products, cotton people are clearly accountable for cotton products, nylon person is clearly accountable for nylon products, silk person is clearly accountable for silk products, and organic fabrics are clearly accountable for organic fabrics. So, there would be clear accountability for product services and closer to customers. We are closer to customers, very much closer to customers. So, next moving on to geographical departmentalization. Geographical departmentalization is based on the location, city, states or countries. So, this departmentalization is based on the pros and cons of this departmentalization is better understanding of local customer needs. If I am concentrating on a target market, if my market is targeted market, if my location is one place, Hyderabad is my location. So, that is my customer segment, that is my geographical area. So, if that is my geographical area, I will have a clear understanding of that particular customer needs, what their customer needs are and what are the preferences, and faster decision making at regional level. In that particular regional, because I have a study, I have a research of that particular work. So, that is the reason I have faster decision making at regional level. And next one is higher operational cost due to duplication of rules. Let me give an example for this. The operational cost will be more because why? Because the head office might be in Delhi, for suppose, but we have multiple offices, multiple organizational at regional levels. Might be in Chennai, might be in Hyderabad, might be in Bangalore. Even though head office might be in Delhi, there would be like multiple levels of people, like there will be, the promotional cost will be more because of the duplication of work. The work is duplicated. The same work is done in this level. We have sales manager, we have operation manager in Hyderabad level, we have in Chennai level, we have in Bangalore level, we have in Delhi. So, this is like a duplication of work where there is more operational cost. And the communication challenges between headquarters and there would be 100% communication challenges. The head office would be at different place and the branch offices will be at different place. So, that is the reason there would be lack of communication. Communication is becoming a big challenge. So, next moving on to process departmentalization. So, process departmentalization, this is an example of process departmentalization. As I told you, like from first beginning, raw materials to finished goods, there are multiple processes involved in the organization, like manufacturing, production, marketing, sales, distribution, logistics, multiple departments are there. So, that is called as process departmentalization, where the team is involved in one process only. They don't know what is happening in the next process. That is called as process departmentalization. So, with this, what are the pros and cons? So, increased efficiency by growing similar tasks together. Because if they are doing the same kind of work, their efficiency will increase in that area. They become expert in that particular area. Next one is specialization improves productivity and quality. They are possessing, the employees are possessing those skills, marketing skills or manufacturing skills. They are located in that particular area only, particular job is given to them. So that is the reason that specialization will improve the productivity of the employees. The productivity will increase. Every day they are doing same repeated work, with that productivity and the quality of the product also increases. High dependency on process efficiency, delays in one stage can impact the entire working area. So there are so many multiple stages, as I told you, in process departmentalization. So if there is a delay in one stage, the process would get delayed. So departmentalization may become isolated also sometimes. The departmentalization also may become isolated because of lack of coordination among the employees. So let's move on in depth. So let's talk about the management functions. Who is distributing the work? Why it is allocated to various employees? What are the management functions? Management functions, what exactly is management? Management is a process of doing the work, completing the work in time. So there is a lot of, like, the input, process and output are involved in this management process. So there is a requirement of input, process and output so that we can reach that particular target. The target will be, a specific target will be reached. So the management process involved with so many multiple stages like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling, coordination, reporting and budgeting. So coming to planning, planning is a systematic way of doing a work. Systematic way of completing a work is called as planning. So planning, we require so much of efforts. Planning is done by the middle level managers, middle level heads of various department does planning work. So planning is determine the course of action to be followed. What course of action to be followed in future objectives. So planning entirely depends on the vision of the organization. So next, moving on to organizing. Organizing is the way we organize the things, how we are organizing to reach a plan, to reach a destination, to reach a plan, to reach the target, what kind of efforts have to be kept. That is dependent on organizing. So next is coordinating. Coordinating is, there are multiple people involved in the department. There should be so much of coordination among the employees. If there is lack of coordination among the employees, it doesn't work out. So there should be coordination. And to reach the goal, to reach the target, there are so many policies, so many procedures involved. So the policies also have to be followed in the organization to be successful. And organizing is a technique where men, machine, material and money are required. And coming to directing. Directing is systematic way of implementing the work. How we are directing, how the boss directs the employees. What kind of pressure the boss keeps. It is like a chain of command or span of control or unity of command. How the boss is sending the information to the employees. And moving on to staffing. Staffing is selecting staff, recruiting the staff, selecting the staff for the particular position is called as staffing. And reporting is whom we have to report to. Who is the next superior, who is the superior, who is the subordinate, whom we have to report to. And budgeting. Budgeting is also looked after by the management function. So budgeting is like how the budget goes on in the organization, where are we investing amount. So all this depends on the budgeting. And coming to last, unity of command. This entire organization, entire things are dependent on this. Entire information is dependent on the unity of command. The boss, whatever the boss says, has to be followed by the employees. So this is entirely dependent on the boss. So unity of command should be from the boss side. So this is all involved in, these are the management functions which are involved in the organization structure and design. So thank you so much for giving this opportunity.